My beloved child, quiet your heart and listen to me whisper in the deepest hidden place of your soul. There are changes that the world calls powerful, yet they vanish like morning mist when the sun rises. But what I am doing within you is entirely different. I am not building you with outward layers of glamour, nor am I making you new through a few passing emotions. What I sow into your heart is like water silently soaking into dry ground, little by little softening the places that once hurt, healing the parts you thought would never recover. I am not in a hurry with your soul, for I know that lasting beauty must be nurtured through time, through closeness, and through love that never changes. I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit within you, as it is written in Ezekiel 36:26. My own hand is carrying this out each day, even when you have not yet fully recognized it. Do not think that you must make yourself strong before you are worthy to draw near to me. Many times, you have grown weary from trying to prove your worth in the eyes of others, trying to carry heavy expectations on your shoulders just to be acknowledged. But my beloved child, your value has never been determined by success, money, or the praise of the world. Before you accomplished anything, I already loved you. Before you learned how to stand firm, I had already stretched out my arms to uphold you. I have loved you with an everlasting love. As Jeremiah 31:3 says, let that truth soak into every breath you take. When you understand that you are loved with an unconditional love, your heart will stop chasing comparison and stop trembling before the gaze of others. You will no longer need to shout loudly to prove that you have worth, because the peace that comes from me will itself become a gentle light shining through your life. There are days when you think I am present only in sacred moments, when tears flow in prayer or when your heart overflows with emotion. But I want you to know that I love even the most ordinary days of your life. I am beside you when you wake with tired eyes, when you quietly do your work and no one sees, when you sit alone in the night and try to keep your heart from sorrow. I do not enter only the radiant places of your life. I also sit beside you in the dark corners you once kept hidden. Just as when Elijah hid in the cave because he was exhausted and afraid, I did not rebuke him with thunder or a violent wind. I came through a gentle and quiet voice. It is the same with you. I do not always speak to you through things that shake the earth. Many times, I come like a peaceful breeze, softly touching your soul, to remind you that you have never been left alone. And there will come a time when you realize that true transformation does not happen when you strain yourself to change who you are, but when you learn to let me lead you. A branch cannot force itself to bear fruit if it is separated from the vine. Abide in me, and I in you. As John 15:4 says, you do not need to force yourself to become perfect overnight. What I seek in you is not flawless perfection, but a heart that knows how to open itself so I may work. When you allow me to enter every thought, every choice, and every wound, I will transform you from within. The things that once made you quick to anger will gradually become gentle. The wounds that once caused you to close your heart will slowly open, so you may learn to love once more. And in the place that once held fear, I will build a peace that no storm can take away. Remember the story of Zacchaeus, the tax collector despised by the whole city. He climbed a sycamore tree just to see me among the crowd, because within him was a hidden thirst that no amount of money could satisfy. When I stopped beneath the tree and called him by name, everything began to change. I did not tell him he had to fix himself first before he could come near to me. It was my presence that softened his heart and moved him to willingly change his life. My beloved child, I am calling your name in the same way. I know the weak parts you are still hiding. I know the things that make you ashamed. And I know even the nights when you silently blame yourself for not being good enough. But I do not turn away from you. I draw near to heal, to restore, and to remind you that no one is too far away to be loved. Therefore, do not be afraid of the seasons of life that are shifting. Perhaps today you do not yet fully understand what I am doing, but I have never lost control. The potter does not abandon the vessel halfway through, and I will not abandon the work I am doing within you. Every trial, every period of waiting, every door that closes can become an instrument through which I teach you to grow more mature in love and faith. We know that all things work together for good to those who love God. As Romans 8:28 says, even on the days when you think you are lost, I am still quietly guiding the way. Now, stop resisting my love. Let me enter more deeply into your soul. Let my presence become the source of life for every day you walk through. When you sit down to rest, I am there. When you labor amid the busyness of life, I am still there. When you must make difficult decisions, my hand is still silently upholding you. And then, day by day, you will realize that you are no longer the same person you once were. Not because you made it happen by yourself, but because my light has gradually spread through every hidden corner of your soul. From the deepest place of your heart, you will understand that the most beautiful transformation is when you allow me to love you, guide you, and turn your entire life into a living testimony of my everlasting mercy. My beloved child, I am not only waiting for you in the moments when your soul overflows with emotion or when you kneel in a place of worship filled with light. I am also present in the very simple things that you often pass by without noticing. I am with you in the moment when dawn has just begun to break, when your hands lift the first glass of water of the day and your mind is still quietly seeking direction for today. I sit beside you in the familiar tasks that repeat themselves. In the moments when you sigh from weariness, or when your heart is confused before choices and you do not yet know which way to go, do not think those small things are too ordinary for me to care about. To me, no moment in your life is meaningless. Whether you eat or drink, or whatever you do all to the glory of God. As 1 Corinthians 10:31 says, it is within those ordinary things that I quietly weave the beauty of a soul learning to walk with me. There have been many times when you thought you had to run very fast so you would not be left behind. The world makes you believe that worth is found in speed, in achievement, in always having to keep moving forward without rest. But my beloved child, I have never measured you by the hurried pace of the world. I look at the depth you allow me to touch within your heart. 1 hour of sitting still before me is more precious than many days of rushing forward with an empty soul. When you choose to stop and listen to my voice, instead of being swept away by the noise around you, you are building the foundation for a life that will not be easily shaken. Like the wise man who built his house upon the rock in Matthew 7:24, what keeps the house standing firm is not its outward beauty, but the foundation laid deep and strong. I am teaching you to live in this way, not strong because of outward appearance, but steadfast from the deepest hidden place of your soul. Remember Mary, who sat at my feet to listen while Martha was busy with many tasks. Martha was not wrong to serve, but her heart was stretched thin by worry and haste. Mary, however, chose the better thing, to be near me before doing anything else. My beloved child, I am inviting you to that same place. I do not want you to know only how to work for me while forgetting how to live with me. I do not want your life to be full of activity while your inner being is dry and empty of peace. When you learn to remain still in my presence, you will realize that there are things that can only be born in stillness. Clarity for difficult decisions, healing for long-standing wounds, and a gentle strength to keep walking without losing your soul. Be still and know that I am God. As Psalm 46:10 says, there are things I speak clearly only when your heart ceases its noise. Then, as each day passes, you will see that the change I am bringing about within you is no longer a fleeting emotion that comes and goes. It becomes a new way of life, a quiet yet enduring flow. I will no longer be the one you seek only in desperation, but I will become the center of every thought, every decision, and every direction you take, just as breathing happens naturally without you needing to think about it. My presence will gradually become the most familiar thing in your life. You will begin to speak with a gentleness you did not have before. You will look at others with mercy instead of judgment. Reactions that were once filled with anger will be replaced by peace. And many times, even you yourself will be amazed at how deeply I have transformed you. There is a story in the Bible that many people often pass over very quickly, the story of Enoch, the man who walked with God. Scripture does not record that he did great things that astonished the whole world. No mighty miracles or glorious victories are recounted. But what made his life special was that he walked with me each day. That closeness was so deep that the distance between heaven and earth seemed to disappear. My beloved child, I am calling you into that kind of fellowship as well. I am not seeking from you a life of spiritual display. I am seeking a heart that knows how to remain with me in even the smallest moments. For it is within that quiet closeness that your soul is renewed day by day. Do not be afraid if today you are still weak or do not yet fully understand the road ahead. A tree does not grow in one night, but each day it silently sends its roots deeper into the soil. I am doing the same with you. Each time you return to me amid the busyness, each time you choose prayer instead of despair, each time you place your trust in me instead of in fear, a new root is formed within your soul. And then the season will come when you realize you are no longer as easily broken as before. He will be like a tree planted by the waters. As Jeremiah 17:8 says, whose leaves do not wither and who still bears fruit even in a dry season. That is what I am preparing for you, not merely a few brief moments of peace, but a life deeply rooted in me. Therefore, my beloved child, let me enter even the most ordinary corners of your life. Let me be present in every meal, every step, every hour of labor, and even in the silent moments no one sees. When you live as one who always abides in me, you will stop feeling as though you must search for me somewhere far away. You will realize that I am right here, closer than the breath you draw each day. And then, from those very days that seem so ordinary, I will open before you an even deeper journey where my word is no longer merely something you read with your eyes, but becomes the life beating within your heart, guiding you through every season of life with a light that never goes out. My beloved child, I do not want my word to become merely a place you visit when your heart is full of confusion or when you are searching for a way out of the difficulty before you. I want you to learn to live with that word as one who lives by daily breath. Just as your body needs water, so it will not wither, and bread so it will have strength to walk. Your soul will also gradually become depleted if it lacks the nourishment that comes from my voice. Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from the mouth of God. As Matthew 4:4 says, there are things the world cannot heal through reason or human strength. Yet one word from me touching you at the right moment is enough to bring light into the deepest hidden place of your heart. There will be nights when you feel so weak that you no longer have the strength to pray at length. And yet a verse of scripture suddenly rising in your mind lifts you up from the depths of despair. That is not a coincidence. My beloved child, it is my Holy Spirit quietly reminding you that I am still here, still holding you through every season of life. When you begin to let my word sink deeply into every thought and every rhythm of your life, you will realize that change does not come with a loud noise, but through a gentle current flowing into your soul each day. like a soft rain slowly soaking into dry ground until the seed begins to sprout. My word will also quietly transform the way you see, the way you speak, and the way you love. Then the time will come when you no longer read scripture merely out of duty or habit, but because your heart is truly hungry and thirsty for my presence. The words that once rested silently on the page will become alive, like a warm flame within your soul. Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. As Psalm 119:105 says, that light does not always shine far down the entire road, but it is always enough for your next step. And I know that sometimes what you need most is not to see the whole future, but to have enough peace to keep walking today. You will gradually realize that the bond between you and me is far deeper than outward rituals. I am not seeking from you a perfect form that is empty of true love. What I desire is an open heart, so that I may live with you in every ordinary moment of your daily life. There are days when you will feel me near, not through a great miracle, but through a gentle peace as you sit quietly in a familiar room, through a ray of sunlight falling on your hand, or through a sense of comfort that cannot be explained in words. Do not take these things lightly, for many times I choose to speak to you through tenderness rather than through resounding thunder. Remember Samuel as a child in the temple. In the stillness of the night, I called his name not through a terrifying vision, but through a very gentle voice that taught him how to listen. It is the same with you. I am teaching you to recognize my voice amid the most ordinary things in life. And then, when my word has truly taken root within you, your life will begin to carry a different fragrance. The words you speak will no longer be as harsh as before, because your heart has been softened and watered by my kindness. The way you look at others will also change. No longer quick to judge, but more able to understand and show compassion. Even in moments of pain or disappointment, there will still be a quiet stream of peace flowing within you, because I am there, the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds. As Philippians 4:7 says, my beloved child, this is not the kind of peace that comes from favorable circumstances, but the steadfastness born when your soul learns to anchor itself in me. I know there are times when you think you must do many spiritual things in order to draw near to me, but look at David, the young shepherd in the wilderness. It was in the most ordinary days, when there was only the sound of the wind and the flock around him, that he learned how to speak with me. No stage, no crowd, no complicated ritual, only a sincere heart seeking my presence. And from that quiet pasture land, I prepared David to become a king after my own heart. Do you see, my beloved child? The silent moments you think no one knows about are often the very place where I am doing the deepest work within your soul. Therefore, today, I invite you to stop looking at me from a distant place. Do not merely know about me through written words or through fleeting moments of emotion. Let me enter the real rhythm of your life into every conversation, every small worry, every ordinary decision, and even the silent moments when you cannot find words to speak. When you begin to live with the awareness that I am always beside you, you will no longer feel that you must search for me somewhere far away. You will understand that I have been here all along, quietly walking with you through every beat of your heart. And it is within that gentle closeness that my word will no longer be merely something you read with your eyes, but will become a stream of life flowing continually within your soul, leading you into the depths of a love that no ritual can fully contain. My beloved child, do not let your heart be overwhelmed by the anxious noise of this world. I see the days when you open your eyes and hear so much news that causes human hearts to fear: war, loss, sickness, betrayal, and sudden changes that make many souls tremble. But in the midst of all these things, I want you to remember that the light I have placed within you was not kindled by the world, and therefore the world cannot extinguish it. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. As John 1:5 says, darkness may cover many places around you, but it has no right to touch the deepest place where I reign within your soul. You do not belong to fear. You belong to me. Understand that the protection I give you does not mean your life will never encounter storms. Even those whom I loved deeply in Scripture went through seasons filled with tears. But the difference is that they did not walk alone. Remember Daniel in the lion's den. That night, the miracle was not that the lion's den disappeared, but that my presence was with him in the midst of danger. The lions were still there. The darkness was still there. But my power was greater than all of it. My beloved child, there will be times when you too feel as though you are standing in your own lion's den surrounded by pressure, disorientation, or things that make your heart tremble with unrest. But I want you to know that even in the most frightening place, I am still sitting beside you. Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. As Isaiah 41:10 says, when you no longer have the strength to keep yourself standing, my arm will uphold you. There are nights when you pray with all the urgency of your heart, yet the heavens seem to remain silent. You wonder why I have not answered, why what you asked for has not yet come, why the door you hoped would open still remains firmly shut. But my beloved child, my silence has never forgotten you. A farmer does not dig up the seed every day to check whether it has sprouted. Beneath that dark layer of soil, life is still quietly taking shape. I am working in the same way in your life. There are things that, if they came too soon, would become a burden instead of a blessing. There are doors that, if opened before your heart is mature enough, would cause you to lose your way in the very thing you once prayed for. So I use time to prepare both you and what I am about to entrust to you. Look at Joseph, who received a great promise very early, yet had to pass through many years of being misunderstood, sold into slavery, and imprisoned unjustly. If seen only through human eyes, everything seemed completely contrary to the promise I had given him. But in those very years of waiting, I was shaping his heart, teaching him the humility, mercy, and wisdom needed for the position I was preparing for him. And at the right time, every piece that once seemed scattered came together in a miraculous way. It is the same with you, my beloved child. The things you do not understand today will one day become clear. What I am doing is not only about you, but also about those who will be touched through your life in the future. I want you to learn to recognize my faithfulness even in the smallest things. Do not look for me only in great miracles, while forgetting the gentle touches I place throughout the journey you walk. A word of encouragement arriving at just the right time when you are near despair. An unexpected door opening after long days of waiting. A peace that is difficult to explain while everything around you is in chaos. These are not coincidences. My beloved child, it is I whispering to you that I am still caring for your life. Little by little, my grace is sufficient for you. As 2 Corinthians 12:9 says, many times, what keeps you standing is not a loud display of strength, but the quiet grace I pour out each day. And then there will come a time when you look back on the journey you have walked and weep as you realize that I have preserved you far more than you ever knew. There were disasters that should have touched you, but I quietly held them back. There were paths that seemed good, yet I closed them to protect you from what you could not yet see. There were delays you once complained about, but later you will understand that they were my mercy. He has made everything beautiful in its time. As Ecclesiastes 3:11 says, I am never too late, I act only at the most beautiful time for your soul. Therefore today, stop allowing fear to lead your life. Do not let the news of the world become louder than my voice within your heart. Stay near enough to me so that my peace becomes stronger than the chaos around you. When you learn to give thanks, even for the smallest things, your heart will gradually expand to receive greater things. The one who cherishes a drop of water will understand the value of the river. The one who gives thanks for a small candle will recognize that dawn is drawing near. And I promise you, my beloved child, that at the appointed time I have set, you will see that every prayer, every tear, and every season of waiting was not in vain. I am weaving all of it into a picture far more beautiful than anything you can imagine today. My beloved child, when your heart is truly anchored in me, you will stop trembling before the days that have not yet come. The unknown will no longer be a darkness threatening you, because you will understand that I have already gone before you. The one who walks with me does not need to see the entire road in order to have peace. You will begin to welcome each morning not as a battle you must defend yourself against, but as a new opportunity to love more deeply, to lift up someone who is weary, and to become a gentle ray of light in a world longing for hope. You are the light of the world. As Matthew 5:14 says, that light was not placed within you only to shine for yourself, but so that those who are lost may see the way home through your life. I want you to understand that nothing in your journey is accidental. The encounters, the doors that open and then close, the seasons of joy, and even the roads filled with tears, all of them are blending together like notes in a symphony I wrote long ago. Perhaps today you can hear only a few scattered sounds and do not yet understand their full meaning. But the day will come when I open your eyes and allow you to see the whole picture. Then you will be amazed to realize that even the things that once wounded you most deeply were used by me to lead you to the very place I had prepared for you. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. As Jeremiah 1:5 says, my love for you did not begin today. It existed before the foundations of the world were laid. Therefore, my beloved child, keep walking. Even when your steps sometimes feel small and trembling, do not despise the things you are sowing each day. A gentle word can heal a soul that is breaking. A quiet act of kindness can open hope for someone who is in despair. A hidden prayer can change an entire destiny you may never know about. Remember the boy with 5 loaves and 2 fish. In human eyes, that gift was too small to accomplish anything great. But when it was placed in my hands, it became an abundance that fed thousands. It is the same with you. Do not think that what you have is too little. What I seek is not perfection or greatness according to the standards of the world, but a heart willing to place what it has into my hands with trust. There will be times when I urge you to rise and speak what I have placed within your heart. Even though you feel you are not strong enough, do not be afraid that your voice is small. Even a small candle is enough to make a dark room shine. There are people waiting to hear the very encouragement I have placed in your heart. There are lives that will be touched by the quiet faithfulness within you. And then you will see that what I have prepared for you no longer stops with you alone. It will spread like ripples across the surface of water, touching your family, your friends, and even people you never imagined you would influence. Let your light shine before others. As Matthew 5:16 says, I do not call you to live withdrawn in fear. I call you to live as one who carries the light of heaven on this earth. But amid all these great things, I also want you to learn to recognize the beauty of the very ordinary. Do not let familiar days pass by while your heart grows numb. The breath you have is a gift I am still quietly preserving every moment. The meal on your table is not only food that nourishes your body, but also a sign that I am still caring for you with gentle faithfulness. A kind glance from a stranger, an unexpected smile along the road, a timely word of concern many times. These are the very gentle touches I send to remind you that you are not alone. Every good and perfect gift is from above. As James 1:17 says, when you begin to look at life with grateful eyes, you will discover that I have covered your journey with countless traces of love that you once missed. Remember the widow in the days of the prophet Elijah. She had only a handful of flour and a little oil left in the midst of famine, and it seemed as though lack would swallow up every hope. But it was in that small thing that I revealed my wondrous care. The jar of flour was not used up, and the jug of oil did not run dry until the drought had passed. My beloved child, I am still that same God today. I can use the very small things in your hands to sustain you, nourish you, and open a future for you in ways that surpass human understanding. So do not despise simple things. Many of my miracles often begin with what the world considers small. Therefore today, walk with an open heart full of gratitude. Do not wait only for great miracles before recognizing that I am present. Recognize me in every ordinary rhythm of life, in every gentle breath, in every day when you can still love and be loved. As gratitude grows within you, your soul will become softer, more peaceful, and more ready for the new things I am about to do. And then you will understand that your life is not a series of aimless days, but a journey guided by my loving hand, the one who is quietly turning every small seed you sow today into a radiant garden for tomorrow. My beloved child, I want your heart to be filled with holy reverence, not a fear that makes you shrink back or distance yourself from me, but a deep sense of awe when your soul truly realizes how great, majestic, and loving I am. When Isaiah saw my glory in the temple, he could no longer see himself as he had before. My light caused him to recognize the smallness of humanity. Yet, at the same time, it also showed him the greatness of my mercy. It is the same with you. My beloved child, the closer you draw to me, the more you will understand that my presence does not drive you into despair, but lifts you up by grace. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. As Proverbs 9:10 says, that holy reverence will keep your heart tender, willing to listen, and guard it from being swept away by the pride of the world. I want you to open your eyes to recognize that I am still quietly working in your life each day. There are changes that take place very gently, like the sun rising without making a sound, yet changing the color of the whole sky. You will begin to see that your thoughts are no longer imprisoned within old limitations. The things that once made you bitter will gradually lose their power over your heart. The fears that once bound you will slowly fade as my light touches them. I am widening your vision so you will no longer look at life only with the eyes of the flesh, but with the eyes of faith. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. As Romans 12:2 says, the renewal I bring is not merely a few passing emotions. It is a deep work that transforms the way you think, the way you love, and the way you walk each day. Then, when you look back on the journey you have traveled, you will realize that every small step I led you through had a purpose. From the moment you learned to lay down the burdens you once tried to carry by yourself, to the moment you discovered that my word is not a distant collection of written lines, but the true source of life for your soul. Everything has been drawing you closer to me. I am not calling you into a religion full of dry rules. I am calling you into a living relationship where you can be honest with me in every state of your heart, just as David spoke with me in the pasture, in the cave, and even on the throne. I also want you to know that you can find me anywhere when your heart is open. I do not only hear your beautiful prayers, I also listen to the sighs you have not yet put into words. There will be days when you unexpectedly realize that my presence is healing you not only in your spirit, but also in your mind and body. I know the months and days when you have been weary from thinking too much, from the quiet pressures weighing heavily on your shoulders. But as you learn to rest in me, a peace that surpasses understanding will begin to cover you. Your sleep will become lighter, your mind will become less chaotic, and your heart will no longer need to remain constantly tense as it tries to hold everything together. Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. As Matthew 11:28 says, I did not create you to live forever in exhaustion. I want you to know what true rest is, not only rest for the body, but deep rest within the soul when you know that you are kept by me. And then, the more you walk with me, the more sensitive you will become to spiritual things, not so that you may live in suspicion or fear, but so that you may know how to discern light from darkness, truth from falsehood. I will teach you to look beyond outward words and understand what is taking place within the human heart. There are places that seem bright, yet are filled with darkness. And there are also people who carry far more wounds than their outward appearance reveals. As my light grows within you, you will learn to love with wisdom rather than with passing emotion. Remember Elisha when his servant trembled in fear because the army surrounded them. I opened that servant's eyes to see that the angelic army was far greater than the enemy. It is the same with you, my beloved child. There are realities deeper than what natural eyes can see, and I am teaching you to walk by faith, not only by what is visible. Do not keep the things I am doing in your heart as a secret that must be buried. When you speak of my faithfulness, that light will touch those who are in despair. There are souls who believe that no one understands them, that no one can rescue them from the darkness they carry. But your testimony will become a bridge, helping them recognize that I am still at work in this world. After the Samaritan woman met me at the well, she ran to tell the whole town about what I had done in her life. One true encounter with me transformed someone who had once lived in shame and avoided the crowd into a source of hope for many others. Do you see? I do not need a perfect person in order to shine. I only need a willing heart that allows me to use it. And now, as you pause to look back on the journey you have walked, you will begin to recognize my hand upon every stage of the way. The joyful days were not outside of me, and even the seasons of tears were not meaningless. There were times when you thought you were moving backward, but in truth, I was building a deeper foundation for your life. A wise builder always spends much time on the foundation that no one sees, because it is that very foundation that will keep the whole structure standing through storms. I am doing the same within you. Not one of your tears has been forgotten. Not one season of waiting has been useless. Not one winding step has been outside my plan. We know that all things work together for good to those who love God. As Romans 8:28 says, I am using everything, both joy and pain, to draw you nearer to me, more honestly and more deeply into my everlasting love. My beloved child, I know there are wounds within you that have existed for so long that you have begun to think you must learn to live with them forever. There are pains that do not appear on the skin, yet silently sink deep into your soul through the years. I see the times you smile in front of others while inside you are exhausted. I see the memories you have tried to bury, the disappointments you have never spoken aloud, and even the nights when you lie still in the darkness with a heavy heart that no one understands. But my beloved child, I never turn my face away from your pain. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted. As Psalm 34:18 says, I have never left you, not even for a single moment, through those seasons of life. Now, I am calling you into a healing deeper than anything you have imagined. But first, I want you to stop running from me through the layers of defense you have built around your heart. I do not want to touch only the part of you that you are willing for others to see. I want you to bring even the darkest corners before me. Bring me the shame you have always tried to hide, the mistakes that make you blame yourself, the bitterness still smoldering in your heart, and even the despair you once thought no one could ever understand. Do not be afraid when I see the whole truth of who you are. The woman at the well once tried to hide her past from everyone, but when she met me, she realized that I knew everything and still did not reject her. It is the same with you. My beloved child, I know every crack within your heart, yet my love has never diminished because of it. I do not wait for you to become perfect before I heal you. If healing depended on you being worthy enough, no one would ever receive it. What I seek is not a flawless soul, but a heart that knows how to open itself and surrender before my love. There are people who hold on to their pain for so long that they become afraid to let it go, because they do not know who they will be without carrying it anymore. But I say to you today, you were not created to live forever in the chains of the past. If the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed. As John 8:36 says, I do not only want to soothe your wound, I want to restore your soul so that you can live again with new hope. Look at the woman who had suffered from the flow of blood for 12 years. She had tried every possible way to be healed, yet she only grew more desperate. Then, in the middle of the crowd, she had only enough strength left to touch the hem of my garment with a trembling and fragile faith. Others might have considered that faith too weak, but I stopped because of it. I felt the true longing within her heart. My beloved child, I see your faith in the same way. Perhaps you think you are not strong enough, not steadfast enough, and that at times you are still filled with doubt and weariness. But I do not despise the small flame flickering within your heart. I treasure it because it is sincere. It was born amid tears, amid silent prayers that no one heard except me. And I want you to know that even faith as small as a mustard seed is enough to touch my heart. Therefore today, I invite you to lay down the burden that is pressed upon you for far too long. Stop trying to control everything by your own strength. You do not need to understand everything I am doing in order to trust me. A child does not fully understand the road his father is leading him on, yet he still holds his father's hand because he knows he is loved. I want you to trust me in that same way. There are things that may still seem unclear to your eyes today, but I have already seen the entire road from beginning to end. My thoughts are not your thoughts. Neither are your ways my ways. As Isaiah 55:8-9 says, what you call delay is often the very time in which I am quietly preparing a more lasting restoration for you. My beloved child, do not resist anymore. Each time you try to hold tightly to your pain in order to protect yourself, you are also closing your heart to the healing I desire to pour out. I do not come to condemn you. I come to dry the tears you have hidden for far too long. I come to touch the painful places you have not dared to let anyone see. I come to remind you that your life did not end with the losses of the past. Remember Peter after he denied me 3 times. He thought his failure was too great for him to return, but I did not look at him with condemnation. I called him back with love, then restored him so he could become one who would lead many other souls. It is the same with you. Your failure is not greater than my mercy. Right now, I am standing at the door of your heart and gently knocking. I do not force you to open it, but I long for you to believe that on the other side of surrender is not loss, but freedom. When you allow me to enter completely, you will see peace begin to flow into the places that were once full of chaos. The memories that once wounded you will gradually lose their power to bind you. The fears that once kept you awake through the night will no longer rule your mind. And then you will understand that true healing is not merely the absence of pain, but being held by me and restored in the deepest places of your soul. Therefore, my beloved child, trust me one more time. Let your weary hands rest in my hands. Let your wounded heart lean against my chest and no longer be afraid. I am your good Father. My hand has never made a mistake. My love has never changed. And the healing I have begun within you, I will not leave unfinished until the day you are fully restored in my light and peace. My beloved child, I have never done anything merely to force you to bow your head in fear or praise me as though it were a heavy obligation. What I have desired from the beginning has not been a cold relationship between a ruler and a subject, but the closeness between father and child. I want you to understand that everything I do flows from the deep love I have for you. When I lift you up from dark days, when I quietly keep you from collapsing, when I heal the broken places within your heart, it is not so that I may be exalted through your fear, but so that you may realize how precious you are in my eyes. I have called you by your name. You are mine. As Isaiah 43:1 says, among millions of souls in this world, I still know every sigh you breathe, every tear you hide, every dream and every fear you have never spoken to anyone. There are times when you think you are only a small person in the vast current of life, as though your existence makes no difference at all. But my beloved child, if you could see your life through my eyes, you would understand that not one moment of yours is meaningless. Before you uttered your first cry, I knew you. Before the world called you by name, I loved you. Just as the shepherd leaves the 99 sheep in the open field to search for the one that is lost, I also seek you with a love that never grows weary. I do not see you as a nameless part of the crowd. You are the child I have held in my heart since before the world was formed. Therefore, today, I invite you to stop straining yourself. I see that your shoulders are weary from carrying too many things you were never created to bear alone. There are pains you have grown used to hiding behind a smile. There are battles you silently fight in your mind each night when no one sees you being strong anymore. But I do not want you to keep living this way. Cast all your cares upon him, for he cares for you. As 1 Peter 5:7 says, let me lift from your shoulders the burdens that have bent your soul down for far too long. I am not ashamed of your weakness. On the contrary, it is in that most tender place that my healing power will be revealed most beautifully. I want to rewrite the story of your life, not with condemnation or regret, but with hope and restoration. Perhaps you have walked through chapters filled with loss, betrayal, and brokenness until you thought that every beautiful thing had come to an end. But I am the one who turns deserts into gardens and ashes into a crown of glory. Remember Naomi, who once called herself Mara because her heart was full of bitterness after such great loss. She thought her life held nothing but emptiness and sorrow. But I was quietly preparing a new chapter she could not yet see. From the land of tears, I brought Ruth, and through that lineage I opened the way for a redemption far greater than Naomi could understand at that time. It is the same with you, my beloved child. I have not ended the story of your life in this painful chapter. I know there were nights when you knelt down and asked me, through tears, Father, where are you? Why do I pray? And yet everything still seems silent. I heard it all. My beloved child, not one prayer falls to the ground without my knowing. Not one choked cry escapes my notice. There are times when my silence makes you think you have been forgotten. But in truth, I am working in places your eyes cannot yet see. Just as when Lazarus lay in the tomb and everyone thought all hope had ended, I was still on my way. I did not come too late. I came at the right time to reveal that even in the place that seemed like the end, I still have the power to bring life back again. I am the resurrection and the life. As John 11:25 says, that is still true for your life today. My beloved child, I am much closer to you than you think. I am in the quiet room when you no longer have the strength to pray at length. I am beside you when you stare at the ceiling in the middle of the night and wonder whether you still have enough strength to keep going. I hear even the words that have not yet become sound. There are times when you only sigh, and I already understand everything your heart wants to say. Do not think you must use perfect words before I will listen. An honest broken heart touches me more deeply than all ornate language. You have kept my tears in your bottle. As Psalm 56:8 says, not one of your tears has been forgotten. So today, let your heart rest in my love. Stop trying to seize control with weary hands. Let me hold the parts of you that you no longer have the strength to repair. Let me touch the memories that hurt you, the fears that keep you awake, and the despair that once told you there would never be a better tomorrow. I do not come to rebuke you for being weak. I come to restore you. And I promise you this, I never leave unfinished what I have begun. He who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Jesus Christ. As Philippians 1:6 says, one day, when you look back on the road you have walked, your tears will no longer be tears of despair. You will weep because you realize that in all the moments when you thought you were most alone, I never once let go of your hand. It was my love that kept you alive through the darkest seasons. It was my mercy that healed the wounds you thought could never recover. And it is my grace that will cause you to rise and live again, not as the old person bound by chains and pain, but as a new soul covered in my light, my peace, and my love that never fades. My beloved child, now I want you to be still in this moment and open your heart to receive what I am doing. There have been seasons when you walked in darkness for so long that you forgot what true hope feels like. There have been days when you lived only on the little strength you had left, trying to smile while inside your soul was slowly becoming exhausted. But my beloved child, the long night does not last forever. The time I have appointed is gradually opening like dawn after a great storm. This is not a moment of display or miracles meant to satisfy the curious eyes of the world. What I am about to do in your life is the revelation of a love that is deeply personal, profound, and true, the love of a father who sees every broken piece within you and still chooses to hold you with all his mercy. I know there are places in your heart that no one has ever been able to touch. People may see your smile, but they do not know the silent battles taking place behind those eyes. There are wounds that do not lie on the body, but are so deep that they have caused you many sleepless nights, making your heart weary even on the days that seem most peaceful. I see it all, and tonight, I want you to know that there is no place of pain within you that lies beyond my power to heal. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. As Psalm 147:3 says, I do not merely look at what appears on the outside, I am touching the very roots of the wounds that have silently bled within your soul for many years. There are memories you have tried to lock away in the deepest corner of your mind, because every time they return, your heart aches. You thought that if you forgot them, you would be better. But the things buried within still silently affect the way you love, the way you see yourself, and the way you walk through life. My beloved child, I do not want you to continue living under the shadow of the past. I do not erase your memories as though what you went through never existed. Instead, I will turn the very things that once wounded you into living evidence of my restoring power. Remember Joseph, who was betrayed by his own brothers, sold into slavery, and forgotten in prison. Those memories could have made his heart bitter forever. But when I had completed my work, Joseph himself was able to say, You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good. You too will one day look back and realize that what once tried to destroy you became the very place where I revealed my greatest grace. I know there are dreams within you that have slowly gone out because disappointment followed disappointment. There were things you once prayed for with all your passion, but as time passed, your heart grew so weary that you no longer dared to hope. But my beloved child, I have not forgotten the things I placed within your heart from the beginning. There are seeds that seem to lie still for a very long time beneath the cold soil. Yet in the right season, they still break forth with strength. I am breathing new life into the parts of you that have withered through waiting. I will make the wilderness a pool of water, and the dry land springs of water. As Isaiah 41:18 says, what the world calls barren, I can cause to overflow with life once again. Do not think that the restoration I give is only a few brief moments of emotion. I am doing a far deeper work. I want to renew the way you live each day. I want to remove from you the constant weariness that has kept your soul heavy even when no one noticed. I want to teach you to walk in rest, where you no longer have to strain yourself simply to survive. Remember the prophet Elijah when he collapsed beneath the tree in the wilderness and only wanted to give up everything. I did not rebuke him for that weakness. I gave him rest, gave him food and drink, and only then continued to lead him forward. Do you see? My beloved child, I do not care for your soul only in some distant, abstract way. I also care for the weariness of your body, the exhaustion of your mind, and the very human limits within you. And then there will come a time when you realize that you are walking differently than before, no longer with the heavy steps of someone who always lives in anxiety and despair, but with the steady steps of one who knows they are loved and kept. Those who wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. As Isaiah 40:31 says, the new strength I give is not merely the ability to keep enduring, but a new source of life from within, enabling you to face life with peace instead of fear. So tonight, I invite you to stop trying to heal yourself by your own strength. Let my hands do what only I can do. Let me enter every dark room in your soul that you have kept locked for far too long. Do not be afraid if I touch the places that still hurt, for a physician must touch the wound in order to heal it. I have not come to cause you more pain. I have come to set you free from what has held you captive for far too long. And when I complete the work I am doing within you, you will no longer recognize yourself as you once were, not because you have become someone else, but because at last you have become the person I created you to be from the beginning, a free soul, healed, restored, and overflowing with my life. One day, when you look back on tonight's darkness, you will understand that this was not the end of pain, but the beginning of an entirely new life in my love and healing power. My beloved child, I want you to understand that the restoration I give you has never been meant for you alone. What I am doing in your life will become light for many others who are walking in darkness. You are a living testimony of my mercy and faithfulness, not because you are more perfect than anyone else, but because I have touched a soul that was once broken and brought it back to life. If anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. As 2 Corinthians 5:17 says, I am rewriting your life like an artist, holding a pen of grace over a page once blurred with tears, so that from it a new story may appear, no longer defined by old wounds, but by my restoring love. Do not hide the light I have kindled within you behind walls of fear or shame anymore. I did not heal you so that you would return to the shadow of your former life. Through the very way you live, I want others to sense that I am real. There are people who may never read the Bible, but they will read your life. They will see in your eyes a hope that had once faded. They will recognize a strange peace in the way you face hardship. They will hear gentleness in your words and feel comforted in their hearts without knowing why. And in that very moment, my light within you is quietly leading them closer to me. Let your light shine before others. As Matthew 5:16 says, that light does not need to shout in order to be seen. It only needs to keep burning in the darkness. My beloved child, I am using you as a bridge for weary souls to return to the true source of life. There are people around you who carry wounds very similar to what you have endured. They smile, yet their hearts are full of despair. They keep walking, yet inside they are almost collapsing. And when they see you not as someone still drowned in pain as before, but as a soul being restored day by day, hope will begin to sprout within them. Just like the Samaritan woman, after she met me at the well, she could not keep that encounter to herself. The one who once avoided the eyes of others ran to tell the whole town that she had met the one who knew her life completely and still loved her. It is the same with you, my beloved child. What I do within you will spread far beyond what you can imagine. I am not opening a new door only for your life alone. I am also touching your family, the people you love, and even the areas of influence you never thought you had. Your silent prayers in the darkness have not disappeared into emptiness. I have heard every word. I have seen every tear. And the day will come when those prayers become a song of joy. Those who once doubted will stand speechless when they see the change I have worked in you. Those who once thought all hope was dead will begin to believe again when they see you rise stronger after everything you have gone through. I will do immeasurably more than all you ask or imagine. As Ephesians 3:20 says, what I prepare is always greater than the limits of human understanding. But remember this, my beloved child, the miracle is not the end point. It is only the doorway into a new life. I do not heal you just so you can return to living as you did before. From now on, every day you wake up will be a testimony that I am still at work. Every breath you take will carry the story of my grace. I am making your very life into a living temple, a place where my presence dwells and reflects the light of heaven into this world. You are the temple of God. As 1 Corinthians 3:16 says, I do not merely pass through your life for a moment and then leave. I want to remain, to walk with you, and to shine through you every day. So do not return to the old cocoon of pain anymore. Do not allow the past to continue defining you. I have already opened new wings for your soul. Learn to rise by faith instead of crawling in fear. At times, you may still remember the feeling of old pain, but that is no longer where you belong. You are no longer the one left behind by failure or wounds. I am calling you to step forward as a guide for those who are lost. Remember Gideon, the man who once hid in fear and thought he was too small to be used by me. But I saw him very differently from the way he saw himself. I called him a mighty warrior, even while he was still trembling. It is the same with you. My beloved child, I see within you what you yourself often have not yet recognized. And then, as you live in the freedom I give, hope will be awakened in many other souls. Not through loud displays of power, but through the gentle, honest, and humble presence of a person who has truly encountered me. There are people who will be healed simply because they see the way you love. There are hearts that will find faith again simply because they can sense the peace within you. That is how my light spreads, not always through thunder and lightning, but through a life that reflects heavenly love in the midst of this wounded world. Therefore today, I want you to remember this deeply. You are not only someone who has received a miracle, your very life has become a miracle. A soul once wounded is now being healed. A heart once hopeless is now filled with hope. A person who once thought they were worthless is now becoming an instrument through which I touch an entire generation. And I will continue to use you, my beloved child, not because you are strong in the way the world understands strength, but because you have learned to let me live through you with my gentleness, truthfulness, and love that never fades. My beloved child, look at this world with eyes full of compassion, not only with disappointment. I know there are times when you feel weary as you witness human hearts growing colder, indifference creeping into every corner of life, and so many souls walking in loneliness, even while laughter surrounds them. There are hearts breaking in silence, people carrying wounds no one can see, souls that have become so used to living in darkness that they have forgotten what light is. But, my beloved child, it is in the midst of such a world that I touched you and drew you out of that ruin for a reason. I did not heal you only so that you could have peace for yourself. I healed you so that you could become a source of hope for those in despair, a lamp for those who are lost in the long night. You are no longer the one who must keep bowing under the weight of the past. I have lifted you up so that you may walk as one who carries the light of heaven within. You are the light of the world. As Matthew 5:14 says, light is not born to hide itself in a dark corner. It is placed high so it can show others the way. Therefore, do not return to the old shadow of fear, shame, or insecurity anymore. Do not continue living as though you were still imprisoned in the place from which I have already set you free. I want you to step out with the boldness of one who knows they belong to me, not with arrogance or display, but with a life full of love, full of compassion, and full of my presence. Every word you speak can become a seed planted in another soul. A gentle word of encouragement can pull someone out of despair. A quiet act of kindness can help someone who is ready to give up find a reason to keep living. Never underestimate the small things you do in love. Remember the Good Samaritan, who stopped beside the wounded man lying on the road while many others passed by. The world often hurries on, but true love knows how to stop and heal. My beloved child, I am calling you to live in that way, to live as my gentle hands in a world longing to be truly loved. But remember that the miracle I have done in your life is not the final destination. It is the beginning of a new journey. I did not rescue you so that you would only revolve around your own needs or seek fame for yourself. What I have given you is a gift meant to be given away. There are souls standing on the edge of despair who need only one ray of light from your life to want to believe again. There are people waiting to be healed by the very peace I have placed within you. Freely you have received, freely give. As Matthew 10:8 says, what I pour into you is not meant to be kept, but to flow outward like a river of living water. Do not be afraid when I call you to step into places filled with darkness. You are not going alone, just as I was with Moses before Pharaoh, and with Esther when she stood before the king to save her people. I will also be with you in every step you take. There may be times when you feel too small before the great needs around you, but do not forget that my strength is often revealed most clearly through those who know how to depend on me. My grace is sufficient for you, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. As 2 Corinthians 12:9 says, I am not seeking from you the perfection of the world. I am seeking a willing heart that allows me to use it. My beloved child, I also want you to remember that you no longer belong to darkness. The past may once have bound you with shame, lies, and fear, but I have already broken those chains apart. Do not return to the prison whose door I have opened for you to walk out of. He has rescued us from the dominion of darkness and brought us into the kingdom of his beloved Son. As Colossians 1:13 says, you are no longer defined by the things that once made you fall. I define you by my love and my restoration. When I speak healing over your life, it is not a passing word. My word carries life. My word has the power to create and restore. My word will not return to me empty. As Isaiah 55:11 says, what I have begun within you, no power can reverse. There may be days when darkness tries to make you doubt what I have done. Old voices will try to pull you back into the place of former despair. But my beloved child, do not believe them anymore. When Lazarus came out of the tomb, the smell of death still clung to his grave clothes. But life had already won. It is the same with you. Your journey of renewal may still be continuing. But that does not mean the miracle has not happened. I have already placed new life within you, and day by day, That light will grow until even those who once knew you in your pain will have to see the transformation I have carried out. Therefore today, rise up in the freedom I have given you. Love more boldly. Forgive more deeply. Live as one who knows they have been rescued from darkness in order to become a bearer of light. Do not withdraw into fear anymore. Let your life reflect my beauty through humility, honesty, and gentleness. And as you walk in this way, many will not only see a person who has been healed, they will see the one who healed you living through you. My beloved child, now that my light has begun to spread through the places within you that were once full of darkness, I want you to guard it as one who protects a flame in the cold night. But do not keep it only for yourself. A true flame does not merely warm itself, it also lights the space around it. I am making your life become like that, a gentle source of light for souls who have lost their way. A place where others can find hope when they have grown too weary from the darkness of life. Shine like stars in the world. As Philippians 2:15 says, you do not need to become great according to the world's definition in order to do this. You only need to keep walking with me with a sincere heart, and that light will naturally spread through every word, every glance, and every work you do. And my beloved child, I want you to engrave this deeply upon your soul. I am with you always, not only on the days when you are strong and full of faith, but also in the moments when you tremble and doubt. There will be times when you feel very close to me, but there will also be days when your heart feels so dry that you think you can no longer sense my presence. Do not let emotion decide the truth. My presence does not come and go like human feelings. I will never leave you nor forsake you. As Hebrews 13:5 says, even when you feel weakest, I am still there, closer than the breath you draw in. I know there will be afternoons when your heart becomes heavy, and even you yourself do not understand why. There will be nights when you pray and seem to hear only silence in return. But my beloved child, my silence does not mean I have gone far from you. When the disciples were tossed about in the storm and thought they were about to sink, I was still in the boat with them, even though they had not yet realized how near my power was. It is the same with you. Circumstances around you may shout that you are alone, but I am still there in the boat of your life, and at the necessary moment, I will rise and speak to the storm, saying, be still. I do not promise you that life will have no tempests, but I promise that no storm can snatch you from my hand. Do not think that my love for you changes according to your success or failure. The world often loves based on what you can accomplish, but I love you because you belong to me. There are times when even you are disappointed in yourself, feeling that you have nothing good left to offer me. But I look deeper than your mistakes and the times you stumble. I see the child I love learning to walk in the midst of a world full of trials. Just as the father ran to embrace the prodigal son before he could even finish his apology, I also do not stand far away, waiting for you to become perfect before opening my arms to receive you. I have loved you with an everlasting love. As Jeremiah 31:3 says, that love is not diminished by your days of weakness. My beloved child, I see even the hidden battles that others know nothing about. I see the times when you try to be strong in front of everyone, while inside you only want to give up. I see the fears you hide behind your smile, and even the tears you quickly wipe away when no one is watching. But nothing within you makes me turn away. On the contrary, I draw even closer in the moments when you are most fragile. Remember Gideon, who once hid in fear and thought he was too small to be used by me. But I did not call him according to his fear. I called him according to what I saw in him. It is the same with you. My beloved child, I do not define you by your failures or your past. I define you by the love and purpose I placed upon your life from the beginning. Therefore today, stop living as one who is always afraid of being abandoned. You are no longer an orphan child wandering in the darkness. You are my child. When I call you by that name, no power can erase it. See what great love the Father has lavished on us, that we should be called children of God. As 1 John 3:1 says, you belong to a kingdom that cannot be shaken by the upheavals of the world. And because you belong to me, you always have a place to return to. Always have arms in which to take refuge. Always have a love that can heal you. From this moment on, I want you to walk with a new steadiness in your heart. When you wake in the morning, remember that I am there. When you face hardship, remember that I am walking with you. When you are disappointed in yourself, remember that I have never been disappointed in you in the way you imagine. And even when you no longer have the strength to believe firmly, I will still hold you with my faithful hands. For my love for you is not based on your ability to hold on, but on my own unchanging faithfulness. So then, my beloved child, let your heart rest in this truth. You are loved, not with the fragile love of the world, but with the everlasting love of the one who knew you before you were born. I do not love only the best version of you, I love your true self. With every wound, every fear, and every fall. And that very love will continue to lift you up, guide you forward, and keep you near to me until the end. My beloved child, I know there are days when you walk with a heart as heavy as stone. Others may see that you are still going on, still speaking and smiling, still trying to appear all right. But I see far deeper than all of that. I see the weariness creeping into every small corner of your soul. I see the nights when you sit silently in the darkness, trying to swallow your tears because you do not want anyone to know how deeply you are hurting. There are prayers you could not speak before they became caught in your throat. And there are times when all you can do is sigh, because you no longer have the strength to describe what your heart is carrying. But my beloved child, not one of your sighs escapes my notice. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted. As Psalm 34:18 says, I am closest to you in the very moments when you think you are most alone. Therefore today, I want you not to let go. Do not allow the waiting to close your heart to me. I know that sometimes you wonder why things have not yet changed, why your prayers seem to remain suspended somewhere in the heavens. But my beloved child, true faith has never been built on what the eyes can see. Faith is when you still choose to trust, even though the road ahead remains unclear. Remember Abraham. He received my promise long before he saw the child of the covenant. There were seasons when all he could do was hold on to my word amid prolonged silence. But that trust pleased me more than every offering. The righteous shall live by faith. As Romans 1:17 says, I am not seeking from you perfect understanding. I am seeking a heart that still chooses to remain with me, even when it has not yet seen the answer. My beloved child, I want you to know that my love for you is deeper than anything your limited mind can understand. The world is used to loving with conditions. When you do well, when you succeed, when you meet expectations. But my love does not work that way. I do not love you more on the days when you are strong, nor do I love you less on the days when you fall. That love began before you uttered your first cry on this earth. Your eyes saw my unformed substance. As Psalm 139:16 says, before anyone knew you, I knew you. Before you did anything to prove your worth, I had already called you precious. Do not think that the times you stumble cause me to move away from you. Remember Peter, the one who boldly promised that he would never leave me, yet denied me 3 times in the darkness of the night. If it had been the love of the world, perhaps he would have been rejected because of that failure. But I did not turn my back on him. After everything, I still sought him, still called him back. and still entrusted him with a great mission. It is the same with you, my beloved child. The moments when you are weak do not make me stop loving you. On the contrary, they make me desire to draw you even closer to my heart. My grace is sufficient for you. As 2 Corinthians 12:9 says, when you no longer have the strength to stand firm on your own, my mercy itself will lift you up. I know there are days when you feel you have nothing left to hold on to. Everything around you seems to shake, and even your faith becomes fragile like a lamp before the wind. But my beloved child, I do not require you to always be strong. A child does not need to become perfect before being embraced by his father. He only needs to run toward his father. I am opening my arms to you in the same way. Come to me even in your fragility, even with the doubts you have not dared to speak aloud. I am not afraid of your questions. I do not turn my face away because of the times you grow weary. I am great enough to hold both your faith and your trembling. There is one thing I want you to engrave deeply in your heart. My love has no end. Everything on this earth may change human emotions, life circumstances, relationships once thought to be lasting, but my love does not. Though the mountains may depart and the hills be removed, my steadfast love shall not depart from you. As Isaiah 54:10 says, there is no day when you wake up and I love you less than the day before. There is no failure great enough to erase your identity as my child. My love for you is not measured by your success or your failure. It is founded upon my own eternal faithfulness. Therefore today, my beloved child, let your weary heart rest in me once more. When your tears fall, I am there. When you do not know how to pray, I still understand. When you think you are about to collapse, my arms are still holding you up. Do not be afraid if today your faith is only as small as a mustard seed. What I need is not a perfect faith, but a heart that keeps returning to me. And then the day will come when you look back on this tear-filled road with amazement. You will realize that what kept you was not your own strength, but my everlasting love. It was that love that did not let you sink when everything seemed to fall apart. It was that love that whispered hope into your heart in the darkest nights. And it is that love that will continue to lead you forward until every wound is healed, every tear is wiped away, and your soul fully rests in my arms that will never let you go. My beloved child, come near to me as your true self. I am not seeking from you ornate words or outward forms that make others look on with admiration. What I have always desired is a sincere heart, a soul that dares to open itself before me without hiding anymore. There are people who stand in crowded places and pray loudly, yet their hearts are farther from me than the souls who quietly call my name through tears. My beloved child, I am not won over by appearances. I look into the deepest hidden place of the human heart. Draw near to God, and He will draw near to you. As James 4:8 says, when you sincerely take a step toward me, even with only a weak prayer or a sigh in the night, I have already come running close to you. I am not a distant being seated high above, looking at your life with coldness. I am your Father. I am the friend who remains when others leave. I am the Redeemer who knows every wound within your heart and still holds you with everlasting love. There are times when you think you must overcome everything alone, but I never wanted you to live that way. I want to walk with you through the most ordinary days of your life, when you wake up with a heavy heart, when you do familiar tasks, when you sit silently and no longer know what to say to me. Even in that silence, I am still there. Just as the two disciples on the road to Emmaus did not recognize that I was walking with them while their hearts were full of disappointment, you too have often failed to recognize that I am walking beside you on the most difficult roads. But I have never left. My beloved child, what I desire from you is not a flawless and perfect life, but a heart that belongs wholly to me. Offer your bodies as a living and holy sacrifice. As Romans 12:1 says, "The sacrifice that pleases me most is not spiritual display, but when you choose to love in a world full of bitterness, choose to forgive when you have reason to resent, and choose to keep trusting even when you do not yet fully understand the road ahead. I delight when you live each day with the awareness that your life belongs to me. When you treat someone who is suffering with gentleness, I see it. When you are faithful in small things that no one notices, I see that too. Some of your quiet victories are more precious to me than all the great things the world praises. Do not live only to receive blessings from me and then keep them for yourself. I am filling you so that you may become a river carrying life to others. There are souls that are dry and weary simply because they have never encountered true love. There are people who are in despair simply because they have never seen the light of hope in someone. And I want to use your very life to touch them. Remember Dorcas, the woman in Scripture who was not known for great sermons, but for the quiet acts of love she did for the poor. When she died, many wept because they had touched my love through her hands. It is the same with you, my beloved child. Do not underestimate small acts of kindness. In my hands, they can become a door that saves an entire life. I know there are places in your heart that still hurt. Even though you try to appear strong, there are memories that still make your heart ache whenever they are touched. There are dreams that once burned brightly, but now lie silent like ashes after a storm. But I have not come merely to heal the surface. I have come to touch the deepest place that no one but me knows. I want to restore even the parts you once thought were dead. Remember Ezekiel when he stood before the valley full of dry bones. In human eyes, it was only a place of death and hopelessness. But I spoke life over those bones, and they came alive. It is the same with you, my beloved child. There may still be barren places within you today, but my breath can still bring them back to life. I want to give you a peace that the world cannot create and cannot take away. The world gives peace when everything is favorable, then takes it away when circumstances change. But the peace I give is deep rest within the soul. Even when storms still rage outside, peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. As John 14:27 says, it is the peace that helps you stand firm through loss, helps you keep loving through wounds, and helps you hope even when everything seems dark. And my beloved child, I also want you to know that the joy I give does not depend on today's circumstances. There may still be days when you cry, but tears will no longer be the place where your soul remains trapped forever. I am placing within you a hope that does not fail, a hope anchored in my everlasting love, not in the changes of the world. When everything around you shakes, I remain the unshakable rock beneath your feet. Therefore today, let your heart rest in this truth. You have never been alone. There has not been one painful season you walked through in which I was absent. There has not been one night so dark that I could not find you. When you are weak, I am there. When you doubt, I am still there. When you think you have nothing left to offer me, I still look at you with the loving eyes of a father who never gives up on his child. Come near to me each day, my beloved child, not with fear, but with trust, not with the burden of having to be perfect, but with your true heart. And I promise you that I will continue to walk with you day by day, breath by breath, season by season, until your soul is fully covered by my peace, my healing, and my love that never fades. My beloved child, tonight I want you to open your heart wide to receive what I have prepared for you long ago. Do not think this is a reward reserved for those who are perfect or worthy enough. If grace had to be purchased by merit, it would no longer be grace. What I give you flows from the boundless love of a father who always desires what is good for his child. For by grace you have been saved through faith, and this is not from yourselves. As Ephesians 2:8 says, I do not wait for you to become perfect before stretching out my arms toward you. I come right into the midst of your broken pieces, your weariness, and even the days when you think you have nothing left to offer. I am inviting you to step into a new chapter of your life, not merely a few more pleasant days, but a renewal that reaches deep into your soul. There are doors of the past that have held you captive for too long through shame, disappointment, and unfinished dreams. There are memories like invisible cords that make you walk with your heart still bowed beneath the weight of what is past. But my beloved child, I did not create you to live forever in the prison of yesterday. Behold, I am doing a new thing. Do you not perceive it? As Isaiah 43:19 says, I am opening before you a new way where the past no longer has the right to define your future. Imagine your soul becoming light, like someone finally setting down a burden they have carried for far too long. I want you to walk without having to bow your head in shame or fear anymore. You are no longer a prisoner of the negative words that once pierced deeply into your heart. You are no longer defined by failure, mistakes, or the way others once looked at you. I define you by my love. You are a chosen people. As 1 Peter 2:9 says, you are the child I called by name with tenderness before the world was formed. No voice of condemnation is stronger than my voice calling you beloved. Perhaps you have grown so used to living in self-doubt that you no longer know what true freedom feels like. But I want you to understand that the healing I give is not merely the soothing of a temporary pain. I am renewing the very roots of your soul. Just as the lame man who lay by the pool of Bethesda for 38 years had grown accustomed to his helpless condition, you too have often grown used to old limitations until you no longer dared to hope. But when I said to him, rise, I did not only heal his legs, I gave him back a new life. It is the same with you, my beloved child. I do not merely want you to survive the passing days. I want you to truly live. From now on, I want my presence to become the breath of your soul, not something distant that you can only feel in special moments, but the source of life you depend on each day. When you wake up, I am there. When you walk through difficult choices, I am still there. When your heart is weary and needs a place to rest, my arms remain open. In him we live and move and have our being. As Acts 17:28 says, I want you to live with the awareness that you never have to face life alone again. My beloved child, stop seeing yourself through the eyes of fear or old wounds. I know there are words others once spoke that became chains in your mind. There were rejections that made you believe you were not good enough. There were failures that made you think your life would always remain that way. But I am breaking those lies apart. Remember Gideon, who saw himself only as weak and small, yet I called him a mighty warrior, even while he was still trembling. I am calling you in the same way today. I see within you what you yourself have not yet recognized, a soul created to reflect my light and my love. And there will come a day when you look back on the road you have walked and realize that what kept you standing was never your own strength. It was my presence that lifted you through every dark season. It was my love that pulled you out of the depths of despair. It was my grace that continued writing your story when you thought everything had ended. You have turned my mourning into dancing. As Psalm 30:11 says, I do not merely repair what is broken, I turn it into the very place where my glory is revealed. Therefore tonight, my beloved child, receive what I am offering you. Do not resist anymore. Do not continue clinging to the old identity of pain and failure. Step into the new chapter I am opening with the faith of a child who knows they are loved unconditionally. You belong to me. You have been called out by grace. You are kept by my eternal power. And from this moment on, walk as one who has truly been set free. no longer bowing beneath the burden of the past, but lifting your head in the light of my love, no longer living to prove your worth, but living from the certainty that you have been precious in my eyes from the very beginning. This is not only a new beginning for your circumstances, this is a new beginning for your very soul, where I will continue to guide, heal, and love you until the end. My beloved child, tonight I gently call your name again in the deep stillness of your soul. Stop seeing yourself through the heavy eyes of the past, and open your heart to receive what I have prepared for your life long ago. What I give is not a reward for perfection, nor is it a gift you must earn through your own effort. It is grace, the stream flowing from my endless love for you. I have loved you with an everlasting love. As Jeremiah 31:3 says, that love did not begin when you did something right, and it will not end when you are weak. It existed before you even understood who you were. I am opening before you a new chapter that no chain of the past can hold back anymore. There are pains you carried for so long that they became part of your identity. There are disappointments that taught you to live with your head bowed, as though your life were forever only a series of days spent patching up what had been broken. But my beloved child, I did not create you to live under the shadow of what has passed. If anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. The old has passed away. As 2 Corinthians 5:17 says, I am not merely mending the old broken pieces. I am creating something new from the very place within you that once hurt the most. Imagine your soul becoming light, like someone who has just stepped out of a dark room that had imprisoned them for far too long. I want you to walk without lowering your head in shame anymore, without living under the accusing voices of former days. The world once gave you many names: failure, weak, not good enough, unworthy, but those were never the names I called you. I call you beloved. I call you chosen. I call you my child. You have received the spirit of adoption, by whom we cry, Abba, Father, as Romans 8:15 says. You are no longer a wanderer searching for your worth in the eyes of others. Your worth has been sealed by my own love from the beginning. My beloved child, I know there are dreams within you that were once buried beneath disappointment and waiting. There were times when you hoped, only to be wounded so deeply that you no longer dared to believe again. But I want you to understand that I have not forgotten what I placed within your heart. Remember Sarah, who laughed in bitterness when she heard the promise of a child in her old age. She thought time had closed every possibility, but I am the one who is not limited by what human beings call too late. And at the appointed time, what seemed impossible became reality. It is the same with you, my beloved child. There are things that are still sleeping beneath the soil today, but I am quietly preparing their season to sprout. From now on, I want my presence to become the most natural source of life in your days. No longer something you seek only in desperation, but the breath your soul depends on each day. When you wake, I am there. When you are weary, I am the seer. When you face difficult decisions, my light still guides your way. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? As Psalm 27:1 says. I do not merely want to pass through your life for a brief moment. I want to remain and walk with you through every season of life. Do not continue carrying the burdens I never wanted you to bear. There are memories you still hold tightly because you think they define you, but I am gently lifting them from your shoulders. I do not deny what you have gone through, but I refuse to let those things become the place where you remain trapped forever. Just as Bartimaeus threw off his cloak when he heard me calling, you too must lay down the old garment of fear and shame in order to step into the new thing I have prepared for you. There are garments you have worn for so long that you have forgotten you were created for freedom. My beloved child, I want you to begin seeing yourself through the eyes of heaven, not as someone always lacking or broken, but as a soul kept by my eternal power, not as one left behind, but as one I am leading step by step in grace. When you understand that you belong to me, your heart will stop trembling before the changes of the world. For the one who knows they are loved by the Father no longer has to live, striving to gain acceptance from others. And then, my beloved child, as you step into this new chapter, you will realize that what I am giving you is not only healing from old pain, I am giving you a new life where peace becomes the foundation, hope becomes the breath, and my love becomes the light that never goes out within your soul. The things that once made you bow your head will now become a testimony of my faithfulness. Yesterday's tears will water the new garden I am causing to bloom in your heart today. Therefore, tonight, receive what I am giving you with an open heart. Do not resist anymore. Do not return to the dark room of the past anymore. Step out into my light as a child who truly knows they are loved unconditionally. I am with you. I go before you, and I will keep you in my unchanging love until everything I have begun in your life is brought to full completion. My beloved child, look at the way I walked among this world when I came in human flesh. I did not stand far away, watching the pain of humanity like a cold observer. I stepped directly into the dusty roads, where there were cries, groans, and souls crushed by suffering. I did not avoid the weak, nor did I turn my face away from those rejected by society. On the contrary, the very places filled with the deepest despair were the places my love touched first. He took up our infirmities and bore our diseases. As Matthew 8:17 says, that was not a fleeting pity, but a love willing to enter the deepest places of human pain in order to bring people back to life. Remember the blind man sitting by the roadside, the one who had grown so used to darkness that others saw him only as part of the misery around them. But when his desperate cry rang out, I stopped. I opened his eyes so that he could see not only the light of the sun, but also the mercy of God standing before him. Remember the lepers, whom everyone avoided for fear of becoming unclean. While the world withdrew from them, I reached out my hand and touched them. That touch did not only heal their flesh, it restored the dignity of souls that had been rejected for far too long. My beloved child, that is, my heart for humanity, not recoiling from brokenness, not avoiding what is painful, but drawing very near in order to heal. There were people who had been lying paralyzed for many years, their legs no longer holding any strength, and their hope withering away with the passing years. But when I said, "Rise," the impossible happened. Life flowed through bodies that seemed to have fallen silent in death. Legs that could no longer move began to walk steadily. Bodies trembling with sickness were restored by power from heaven. Even fever had to leave when I rebuked it. Do you see? My beloved child, to me, there is no pain too great, no sickness too deep for my power to touch. And then I stood before the tomb of Lazarus, the place where human beings thought all hope had completely ended. Death made everyone tremble and feel helpless, because they believed it was the final boundary no one could cross. But when I lifted my voice and called, "Lazarus, come out," even death itself had to surrender. The dead man came out of the tomb because my voice carried life. My beloved child, understand this deeply in your heart. I am not merely a teacher of morality or a wise master among the world. I am the Son of the living God. I am the resurrection and the life. As John 11:25 says, where I am present, death does not have the final word. But the deepest truth is this: I did not heal only through outward miracles. I bore every pain of humanity in my own body upon the cross. Not only sin, but also sickness, sorrow, brokenness, and the deepest hidden burdens of human beings were placed upon me. When the lashes tore through My body, the way of healing, was opened. By his stripes we are healed. As Isaiah 53:5 says, "Every wound I endured was not meaningless. They were the price paid so that restoration could come to you, my beloved child." Many people think they must strive greatly in order to be worthy of receiving healing from me. But listen carefully. Healing is not a gift reserved for those who are perfect. It has already been purchased by my own blood. It is not perhaps you can be healed, nor maybe someday. In me, the door of restoration has already been opened. I completed that work on the cross when I said, "It is finished." What you need is not to save yourself, but to open your heart and receive what I have already accomplished for you. There are wounds within you that others cannot see: emotional pain, memories that make your heart ache, long nights when your soul feels crushed by anxiety and despair. But my beloved child, the cross is enough for those things too. I did not come only to heal the body, I came to restore the whole soul. The woman who had been bent over for 18 years was not only straightened in her body, she was set free from the chains that had pressed down upon her life for far too long. It is the same with you. I want to lift from you the invisible burdens that have caused your heart to bow down for so many years. Therefore today, do not see healing as something distant or reserved only for others. Look to the cross and remember that my love has already paid the price for you. I do not promise that your life will no longer have trials, but I promise that my restoring power is stronger than everything trying to destroy you. What I begin within you, I will complete. No darkness is greater than my light. No chain is stronger than my power. No wound is too deep for my blood to heal. Therefore, my beloved child, draw near to me with trust. Do not look only at your weakness. Look to the one who bore that weakness in his own body for you. Let this truth sink deep into your soul. You are not forgotten in your pain. You are not fighting alone. And in me, there is always hope, always life, always healing waiting to be poured out upon your life. My beloved child, today I gently ask your heart once again, do you trust me? Not only when everything is favorable, not only when you see a miracle happen before your eyes, but even when your eyes are still filled with tears and your heart is still trembling amid questions that have no answers yet. Do you believe that I am still the God of yesterday, today, and forever? Unchanging, Jesus Christ is the same yesterday and today and forever. As Hebrews 13:8 says, my power has never diminished. My love has never run dry. My word has never lost its life. What I did in the days of old, I can still do today in your life. But, my beloved child, I do not ask you to come to me with perfection. I do not require you to understand everything before you are allowed to draw near. If complete understanding were the condition for coming close to me, no one would be able to come. What I seek is simply a heart that knows how to open itself in trust, a trembling but honest prayer, a tear offered up in hope, a touch of faith, however small. Like the woman with the flow of blood pressing through the crowd just to touch the hem of my garment. Others may not have noticed her, but I felt that faith, even amid hundreds of people pressing around me. It is the same with you. My beloved child, I see every silent cry within your heart. No prayer is too small for me to hear. Do not let fear keep you far from me anymore. I know there have been times when you hesitated to come near because you thought you were not good enough, not strong enough, or because your heart was still full of doubt. But remember the father of the demon-possessed child who cried out to me, Lord, I believe. Help my unbelief. And I did not reject him, because his faith was not perfect. My beloved child, I do not demand from you a faith that never wavers. I only want you to keep turning back toward me. Even in the moments when your heart is most fragile, It is in that very place of weakness that my grace is revealed all the more clearly. Open your heart. Do not lock away your pain and disappointment anymore. I know there are parts of you that have grown so tired from waiting. There are prayers you have repeated for many months and years. Until now you are afraid to hope again. But my beloved child, I have never forgotten you. There has not been one day when I took my eyes off your life. I have engraved you on the palms of my hands. As Isaiah 49:16 says, you are not a nameless face in this vast world. I know your name. I know your story. I know even the pain you have never spoken aloud. In this sacred silence, I am looking at you with the loving eyes of a father who never changes. That gaze is with you when the sun rises and remains with you when darkness falls. I see the tears you quickly wipe away so no one will know you are hurting. I hear the sighs that carry so much weariness. I know there are times when you wonder whether you have been forgotten amid the vast current of life. But my beloved child, never, not for a single moment have you ever been outside my care. Remember Hagar in the wilderness, when she thought that she and her child would die of thirst and that no one saw them anymore. It was there, in that desolate place, that I called her by name. She cried out, "You are the God who sees me." It is the same with you. Perhaps today you feel as though you are in a wilderness of your own, dry, lonely, and weary, but I still see you. Not with eyes of judgment, but with the eyes of love and mercy. My beloved child, I am still working miracles. Miracles are not only the things that make people stand in awe, they are also the way I keep a soul from collapsing, even after it has endured so much pain. A miracle is when hope still flickers within you. Even though darkness once tried to swallow everything, a miracle is when I take a heart full of wounds and gradually turn it into a place where peace can remain. And I am still doing that within you today. Therefore, do not doubt my love anymore. Do not let the voice of despair become stronger than my voice within your heart. Come closer. Reach for the hand I am extending to you. You do not need to pretend to be strong. You do not need to hide your broken pieces. I have known them all for a long time, and I still choose to love you completely. And then, my beloved child, there will come a day when you look back on these long nights filled with tears, with deep amazement. You will realize that in all the moments when you thought you had been left alone, I was quietly carrying you through. It was my love that kept you alive. It was my mercy that pulled you out of the depths of despair. And it is my unchanging presence that will continue to lead you forward until your soul fully rests in my eternal light and peace. My beloved child, listen to my voice in this deep stillness. I am still the one who is the same, yesterday, today, and forever. Time may cause many things in this world to fade, but it cannot weaken my power or cause my love to run dry. Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. As Hebrews 13:8 says, the miracles you read about in Scripture are not merely distant memories of an age gone by. They are testimonies that I am still working in human lives today. I still heal. I still restore. I still call life forth from places that seem to hold only despair. When I spoke light into being at the beginning of creation, darkness had to retreat. And my beloved child, that power has never diminished. The world changes. Human hearts change. But my voice still carries life as it did from the beginning. You may look around and see so much brokenness, so many things that cause human hearts to doubt. But do not let what your eyes see make you forget who I am. I am still the God who made a way through the Red Sea. I am still the one who caused the walls of Jericho to fall. I am still the one who called Lazarus out of the tomb. And I am still the Father looking at you with eyes full of love right now. My beloved child, the deepest truth is not only that my power does not change, but that my love also never changes. I do not love you more on the days when you are strong, and I do not love you less on the days when you fail. My love is not built upon your worthiness, but upon my own eternal nature. God is love. As 1 John 4:8 says, "When you are weak, I still love. When you are confused, I still love. When you can no longer believe in yourself, I still continue to believe in what I placed within you from the beginning." And, my beloved child, the healing I give is not a beautiful idea reserved for ancient stories. It is still the living water flowing today. That water can still touch weakened bodies, broken hearts, wounded memories, and souls that have grown weary from waiting too long. I do not distinguish between great or small, rich or poor, famous or unknown. What I seek is simply a heart that knows how to open itself in faith. Open your mouth wide, and I will fill it. As Psalm 81:10 says, "Wherever there is true humility and trust, there my river of grace can flow." Do not think you are too small for me to notice. There have been times when you looked at your life and wondered why I would care about someone as limited as you. But remember the woman who quietly pressed through the crowd just to touch the hem of my son's garment. She had no status, no voice in the noisy crowd, and she was even considered unclean because of the illness she had carried for 12 long years. But she carried one precious thing: faith. Not a perfect faith without any trembling, but a faith that dared to move forward even while her heart was still fragile. And that one touch was enough for power from heaven to flow out. Do you see? My beloved child, I am not drawn by outward display. I see the quiet faith within the human heart. I know there are times when you hesitate to come near me because you feel you are not good enough. You look at your mistakes, your failures, and your weakness, and you think I will turn my face away. But I have never waited for you to become perfect before loving you. If I came only to those without blemish, no one would be able to stand before me. Look at the tax collector standing at the back of the temple, daring only to bow his head and ask for mercy. It was he, not the one boasting in his own merits, who went home justified. I love the heart that knows it needs me more than every outward appearance of righteousness. My beloved child, do not let doubt block the living water I desire to pour out upon your life. There are miracles that have stood very near, but fear and despair have kept you from daring to open your heart to receive them. Stop looking at your limitations and begin looking at my faithfulness. When Peter stepped out of the boat in the middle of the stormy sea, what kept him walking on the water was not his own strength, but his eyes fixed on me. Only when he looked at the waves did fear pull him down. It is the same with you, my beloved child. If you look only at your circumstances, you will find reasons to despair. But if you look to me, you will find reasons to keep hoping. Therefore today, draw near to me once more. You do not need perfect words. You do not need to hide your weakness. Come as you are. I have already known everything from the beginning, and I still hold my arms open, waiting for you. Let your faith, even if it is as small as a mustard seed, open the door for what I desire to do in your life. For I am still the God who works miracles. I am still the one who heals. And my love for you is far deeper than anything you have ever dared to hope. My beloved child, do not be quick to lose heart simply because today you have not yet seen everything change as you expected. I know there are times when you place your hand upon your own wound and wonder whether healing is truly taking place. There are nights when the pain still aches, when weariness still clings to your body and soul as though it has never left. But, my beloved child, do not look only at what your eyes can see. Some of the deepest works I perform take place quietly beneath the surface, where natural eyes cannot recognize them. just as a seed lies still in the dark soil for a long time before it breaks forth as a green shoot. The healing I am doing within you is also growing from the roots. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. As Hebrews 11:1 says, I am not only healing the things you can name, I am touching even the deep layers where you yourself have not yet realized you were wounded. There are cracks within your heart that were formed long ago from moments of rejection, from words that pierced your heart, from disappointments you tried to forget, yet which still quietly affect the way you love and the way you see yourself. My beloved child, I am gently removing each layer of that pain. I do not work hastily like someone who only wants to cover the surface. I heal from the root so that your soul may truly be free. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. As Psalm 147:3 says, no wound is too deep for my hand to touch. When you look back on the journey of your life, you will begin to recognize one thing. There were many times when you thought I was silent, but in truth, I was closer to you than ever. There were roads where you thought you had to drag yourself forward alone, only to understand later that I was the one carrying you through. Remember the footprints in the sand that you once heard about when the disciple looked back on his life and saw only one set of footprints during the most painful seasons. He thought I had left him alone, but I answered, that was when I was carrying you in my arms. It is the same with you, my beloved child. I have never abandoned you in any storm, even when you could not feel me. My arms were still keeping you day by day. Do not be quick to see delay as rejection. I know there are prayers you have lifted up for a very long time, and yet heaven still seems silent. But I am not the one who forgets his promises. Waiting is often the place where I enlarge your soul so that you may learn to trust more deeply. If I answered everything immediately, you might seek only the gift and forget the giver. But in the waiting, you learn to lean on me more than on your circumstances. Remember David. He was anointed as king while he was still young. Yet he had to pass through years of being hunted in the wilderness before the promise became reality. Those years were not wasted time. They were the place where I trained his heart so he would be able to carry what I had appointed for him. My beloved child, I want your faith to be built upon my unchanging nature, not only upon what your eyes can see today. Circumstances may change, like clouds in the sky, but I remain eternally faithful. God is not a man, that he should lie. As Numbers 23:19 says, when I speak a word, that word carries the power to accomplish what I desire. Perhaps today you do not yet see the whole picture, but that does not mean I have stopped working. Just as the sun still exists behind thick layers of cloud, my faithfulness is still covering your life, even on the days when you cannot feel the light. I know that sometimes your heart wavers because you are looking at the things that have not yet changed. But do not forget that many miracles in Scripture also began in moments that seemed utterly hopeless. When the people of Israel stood before the Red Sea, they saw only water ahead of them and enemies behind them. But right there, in the place where there seemed to be no way out, I opened a path through the deep sea. It is the same with you, my beloved child. There are times when I allow you to reach the limit of your own strength, so that you may realize that what keeps you standing has never been your ability, but my power. Therefore today, do not give up hope simply because you have not yet seen the result immediately. Do not dig up the seed just because it has not become a tree overnight. Keep trusting. Keep drawing near to me, even in the waiting. I am working in places you cannot yet see. I am restoring what seemed to have died. I am building within you a foundation deeper and more enduring than anything you once imagined. And then the day will come, my beloved child, when you look back on these clouded months with eyes filled with grateful tears, you will understand that I have never broken my promise. Not one word I have spoken returns empty. What I have begun within you, I will complete. And when the clouds part, you will see that the sun of my faithfulness has never stopped shining upon your life. Not even for a single moment. My beloved child, today I want you to listen to my voice. Not with your physical ears, but from the deepest place within your soul. I see the pain you are carrying. I know the quiet aches that make your body weary. The days when you try to appear normal while inside, you are being exhausted little by little. There are illnesses no one can fully see. There are nights when your body hurts so deeply that you long for only a few moments of peace to rest. But my beloved child, I am not indifferent to that. I have never turned my face away from your cry. And today I speak over your life. Be healed. Rise up. Walk in the life I give. When I speak, darkness must retreat. When I speak life, what has withered can live again. I am the Lord, who heals you. As Exodus 15:26 says, that power has never diminished with time. No illness is too great for me. No weakness is beyond my ability to restore. Human beings may look at a condition and call it hopeless, but I am not limited by human conclusions. I am the one who formed your body from the dust and the breath of life. I know every cell within you, every heartbeat, every stream of blood flowing through your body. And my beloved child, I can still touch what the world calls impossible, but I do not heal only the outward part that human eyes can see. I am going deeper than that. There are souls carrying pain even heavier than physical sickness, the pain of fear, disparity, prolonged weariness, and loneliness. I want to restore those places too. When I healed the paralytic lying by the pool of Bethesda, I did not only strengthen his legs, I restored his dignity, his hope, and a new future. It is the same with you, my beloved child. I do not want you merely to survive the passing days. I want you to live in the abundant life I have prepared for you. I am speaking life into the places within you that have known only weariness for far too long. I speak new strength over every weakened joint. I speak restoration over the organs that are growing frail. I speak light over the cells that seem to have lost their function. Dry bones, hear the word of the Lord, as I spoke in the valley of Ezekiel. And when my breath comes, what seemed dead rises again full of life. My beloved child, do not limit what I can do by what your eyes can see today. I know there are times when prolonged pain has made your heart so weary that you no longer dare to hope. You have prayed for so long, waited through so much, and sometimes your heart whispers, perhaps the miracle is not meant for me. But listen carefully to me. I do not distinguish one person as more worthy than another. My love and power are not reserved only for the strong or the perfect. I also bend down to the little child in pain. I also hold the elderly person trembling in sickness. I also listen to the hidden cries of souls who no longer have the strength to pray in words. Remember when people brought little children to me, and some tried to stop them because they thought they were too small and unimportant. But I embraced them and said, "Let the little children come to me." Do you see? My beloved child, no one is too small to be touched by me. No one is too weak to be loved by me. Those children are precious in my eyes, and every breath of theirs is kept by me with infinite tenderness. I am releasing the river of life from my throne across this earth. No barrier can stop that river of grace. No darkness can stand when my light shines upon it. Perhaps today you have not yet seen the whole miracle completed, but do not let that cause you to stop trusting. Many of the miracles I perform begin quietly, like a seed beneath the ground. No one sees it growing, but life is still moving within. Therefore today, my beloved child, open your heart before my presence. Do not look only at the pain. Look to the one who is holding you in the midst of that pain. Do not look only at the diagnosis of human beings. Look to my word, the word that carries the power to create and restore. With God, all things are possible. As Matthew 19:26 says, and in this very moment, I want you to know that you are not fighting alone. I am very near. I am placing my hand upon your life with the tenderness of a father and with the power of the one who created heaven and earth. Rest in me. Let your faith cling to my promise more strongly than to your fear, for I am still the God who heals, the God who restores, and the God who causes what seemed dead to rise again in my eternal light.